All right, here we go again. Old school. I'm going with the pointer, the arrow, holding the camera. And again, Zach Smith, check it out. Menace to Sports. Great stuff over there. Coach, he's a coach all the way. He's a coach. And you're going to get what it's like if you were in the coach's film room, for sure. Um, by the way, I used to love when they did that on the national championship days and would have the coach's film room. Remember Gary Patterson? He would never shut up. Jimbo Fisher never shut up. Some of the coaches are so talkative, some are so quiet, or different type of coaches. But anyway, I've dealt with a lot of coaches in my past, both playing a long time ago, but I've enjoyed it more as a kind of an outside analyst, researching for historical purposes and for the ideas of what are going on in football today, which is exciting. And but yeah, Zach Smith is coach all the way, man. And you're going to get some real. I mean, it's really. I really. Again, I keep pushing it. I'll lay off. Check it out. Really, honestly, yeah, it's worth it. Check his stuff out. I want to also say that I've thoroughly enjoyed getting back in this. This is my second one today, and I do all this anyway. I'm always breaking stuff down, trying, especially. I got away. I ended up doing some work, especially this past year. Different. It's hard to explain. Some other different style of work. I worked for an info broker for a while, and I was starting to get into the NFL for the first time a few years ago, using that in the job. And then lately, I actually worked further. I worked directly involved. Let's put it that way. That happened this fall. So I've really gotten away from the college football scene. But this fall, about halfway through the season, I was able to break off the NFL work and really get back to college. And man, I was like, power spread has moved into the NFL now. Okay, so there's a lot going on in the NFL scheme wise, but it's still very detailed and technique execution oriented there. And sure, it is too if you're playing for Nick Saban, yeah, of course. No, but it is in college as well. But college is still experimenting more. I didn't think I'd find so much experimentation. Still, I kind of felt like wasn't all the experimentation, you know, well, we can go back to the 1900s when they started doing the forward pass, and then go into the single wing. Then we had the modern T, and then we had the options, and then we had the wishbones, and then we had college football has always had these periods of experimentation. But boy, it's been a ton of experimentation with what I call power spread um, in the 2000s, okay, and in the 2010s. But I really thought, look, it's everywhere now, especially in college. As some people, in pro is always some form of pro concept with the power spread. So it's either a pro PS or some are even doing a PS Pro, which has a root base. Like the Eagles are definitely PS Pro. The Eagles look like a college team almost. So, okay. But in college, I'm like, hey, look, it's all thrown out there now. You got the air raid, the pro, the power spread. It's all mix and match. There's really nothing to see now. It's just a matter of culture more, how everybody's forming their culture to do all this, bring this all together. And then to my surprise, I just banged out like 40 bowl games. Oh man, it was exhausting, but it was cool, man. Like I really was like, holy cow, there is a lot going on in college still. I mean, it's more subtle. I mean, it's more intricate. It's not like, look, everybody's like, it's not like some teams run a quarterback and some teams don't. No, everybody's running the quarterback, almost in the NFL. And you look at some of the struggles of Tom Brady and some other guys. Is it a coincidence that they aren't dual threats? Because really, the quarterbacks that are doing well in the NFL are dual threats. The defensive schemes have gotten so good that you need a dual threat. Just saying. Anyways, okay. So, anyways, but speaking of Tom Brady, great spread passer, and there's some great Peyton Manning, Ben Roethlisberger, some great spread passers, just pure drop back spread passers. Now, while C.J. Stroud can move a little bit, he's a heck of a spread passer. So this is the first drive, and I just want to show this pass real quick. Zach's going to stop and start it a couple times. Ding. Look at that release. Love it. Watch it again. Where we going? Here we go. Quick release. Bing. And it was just a little in route Harrison against the quarters, and he just in front of the zone. Zach, and this is what Zach does. He broke down, like, the route wasn't that great by Harrison. He could have made a much better route. And go to Zach. I'm not going to explain it. I could, but that's not my deal, dude. Go to Zach's thing. He'll explain all that. If you're into that kind of, he coached receivers, so how they run routes, how they pass block, how they run block, all that kind of stuff. He breaks that all down in detail. It's pretty cool, man. So definitely check it out. Okay, anyway, so I just want to do that to get us started. But okay, let's move into, now we're going to see these really cool schemes I put on my post. I didn't actually talk about the schemes. That's why I'm making this. This is a really cool run blitz. And Zach, again, breaks it down in big detail. But you can just see, look, here, let's back that up. Get the arrow. Look at this guy right here. And then this guy right there, looping around. That guy fired and then loop around. Boom. That's just cool, man. And let's take a look at the coverage while we're in this angle. The all 22, which is awesome. Thanks again, Zach. This is really cool. You got a motion. You can tell it's not man because so it's like a cover 3, it looks like. Yep. Looks like a cover 3. Yeah, it's a cover 3. I'm pretty sure it's cover 3. Yeah. I mean, it's always sometimes hard to tell if it's just man free. Like these guys are man to man and it's just a safety. I don't know. I think it's cover 3. So whatever. Anyways, but just the cool stuff is happening up here. So you're throwing a cover 3, which is a relatively conservative cover shell. I mean, cover 2 is even, I guess, more so in a way. Cover, but there's no more such thing as cover 4, by the way. I mean, sometimes you'll see it in the NFL, but it's usually quarters, and that isn't just cover 4. That's an assignment-oriented, pattern-matching cover 4. So it's very aggressive. The safeties are ready to attack crossing routes or the run. That's quarters, okay? So quarters is definitely aggressive. It's not, cover 4, but it is a cover 4 base. Anyway, this cover 3, but I love what they're doing up in here. Again, what you got? 4 guys across. 4 guys. This guy's popping out a little bit. You got the run blitz. Run blitz and the safety flying up too. So it's hard to run against that stuff. It's even more impressive looking at it from this angle. So there you go. And who are these guys? Let me get these guys. Georgia. Take a look. Johnson, Dumas Johnson. And the other guy is, again, all these guys are, if you look at those numbers, those are PS numbers from Phil Still's book. Doesn't stand for power spread, it stands for Phil Still. But they're all very high because Georgia gets huge recruiting. Where is, oh, there he is. Mondin. Yeah, number 2 linebacker coming out of high school, according to Phil Still, Mondin. And I think that was, if I'm correct, that was number 2. He's number 2 now. So he was the guy on that run blitz. So major recruit, big time linebacker. Georgia's recruiting is just as good as Bama's now. And Ohio State's right there too. So yeah, so there you go. Just smashing it up. There's nowhere to go, and there's nothing. And one thing Zach pointed out, he's absolutely right, is they need to pass this off down here. The center, the right guard, the right tackle. Okay, the way they did this, watch. This is also talent. These 2 guys right here, I think that's Carter right there, where my arrow is. I mean, you're so concerned with these guys. He's jamming in, but he's coming out, and he's pulling 2 linemen with him. Look at that. And then it's too late for 74 to get over on that blitz. He barely grabs that. But we've got this guy, Mondin, or whatever, coming all the way around. See? All right, that was the safety. Yeah, Mondin's right back here. Watch this. Look at his positioning, too. It's perfect for this. Look at that. And the safety's coming right on his tail. I mean, it's just, it's little stuff. I'm not even doing a good job of describing it. Again, go to Zach's. He'll describe it even more. But again, these guys, you see, and that's why he's circling the right guard there. He's trying to get off of there, but really it would have been better had the center pulled off. The right guard could have stayed here, if I'm correct. Or was the right guard pulling on that? Let me see. Oh, yeah. No, that was, no, what I'm there. That was a counter. Yeah, that was a counter. Never mind. Oh yeah, no, that I might be getting confused with another play. Whoops. Now I forget, but I'm getting too into it. It doesn't really matter. I don't want to get into all this. Yeah. It's just, you're bringing one guy, you're bringing another guy. It's like a train. Boom, boom, boom. See? Yeah, see, Zach's showing it right there. Yeah, that's right. Because the defensive end guy is coming around there too. It's just crazy. It's just like you're selling out for that inside power. you know. And if you do an RPO here, you got problems. In fact, that's what I was wondering on this play. Now that I think about it, why wasn't it an RPO? Yep, look out here. Look at this. I think it was like what you call fake RPO. I call it that because you're acting like it's an RPO, but it's really not. It's a straight handoff. I'm pretty sure you watch the receivers down here. They're basically looking to run block. So this is a straight. They're not looking for a pass. I wanted to see about this guy, this receiver right out here. Yeah, right here. Nah, he's run block. See, this could have been a little out right there in the flat. And this guy might have had him, but then if you had this guy out there in the flat too, oh, that was CJ Stroud, never mind. But that could have been an RTO, a triple option. You know, CJ has a threat of run or pass. So I just think an RPO here, but they were trying to be simple early in the game. And, you know, obviously look at this box. I mean, so it's not only this gravy train, 1, 2, 3, there's a fourth guy. You got 4 guys. So blitz here, I mean, coming up here and coming up here, and this guy, or this guy, one of these guys looping around. Yeah, here we go. Once again, boom. Look at that. One's up there already, 2 and 3. Just crazy. So look, CJ Stroud, let's make up it's a run pass option. It really is. Let's make it up. Let's make up that it is. I don't think it was. I think it was like he was just using it more as an action, carrying out the fake, like carrying it out so that it would hold off the linebackers and the defense back. But I do not think it was. His eyes are up, but I really don't. I mean, you can tell by the line too. I mean, you have to go by that. Are they all run blocking or some of them pass blocking? Man, it's a run. It's a power. I'm having trouble now with this damn thing. Yeah, no, that's a run. That's a run all the way. So what I'm looking at here is, what if this really was an RPO, and you can do it off counter action, and he pulls that out. This dude's out in the flat. He goes running over here, which he carries out that action. See, but man, that's gonna screw all this mess. You know, so I have a feeling I'm gonna see that later in the game because that is very aggressive. But hey, kudos to Kirby Smart, and it's a cool scheme the way he's doing it. Okay, and then we come up with second down. This is just talent on talent, and this is pretty interesting. See, we call this, if this was pure man press across the board, Ringo stays on this guy. It's not, that's not what it is. It's more like a man match, really. It really is. It's more like a pattern matching. But whatever. He's now pressing Harrison. All right. Then this guy's going to take this guy. This guy comes up in this area up here like a robber almost, and this guy goes back almost in a cover. It's actually one. This is a one match. You call it one man, one match, whatever. But you got this guy pressing down here, Ringo up there, and he's on Harrison. And again, good protection and just a mix-up. Harrison was still carrying Ringo to the inside, and he needed to pop outside. I wonder if we're going to see that more. Ringo's a big guy. I mean, a big cornerback. And might even been a little bit of holding, but yeah, Stroud wanted him to get to the outside. Didn't happen. Miscommunication. But, talented cornerback he was going up against. And then here comes the zone blitz. And this play, I just love. And Zach nailed it. He called it an invert 2, which means instead of the 2 safeties going into cover 2, which each safety has a half of the field, the cornerbacks come back and do it, and safeties come up in the middle. So they're protecting the whole area. There's always a hole right where I'm circling. There's always a hole. Nick Saban was big on this, rat in the hole. He called it, I think, robot. I think, don't quote me, but I think it's when the linebacker moves back into that hole. Robber, the safety moves up into that hole. Rat, you got a rat in the hole. It's always in the hole. You'll see some of what Knowles does for Ohio State. It always has it's almost like a Tampa, but a Tampa hole. He's always got someone in the hole, and it's always been a big problem, whether it's cover 2 or cover 3 or cover 1, is that hole area. So that's always been a big deal. Pete Carroll was big on bringing the robber up from the cover 2 into a cover 3 or cover 1 and bringing up and man in that hole. So got to see some of those videos of Saban, man. They are funny. Go get the old ones where he's yelling at people about man in the rat in the hole. He's like, in assignment football, and he doesn't want these goddamn players. I don't want to hear about your mother in Detroit. Give me that bullshit. You either do this or you robot the shot. Why shallow? Just screaming and yelling. He's just like he wants you focused on assignment football. He expects that he's made these assignments easy enough for everyone to follow, and everyone should execute their assignment. And if everyone does, he has the best defense in the country. Anyway, so there we go. There's the two guys on the two shell, and we got everybody's here. We got a guy in the hole, but the big thing is here you got a zone blitz. So check it out up here. And again, it's matching, because look how these guys match up. Boom, they're matching. Boom, I'm matching that guy. Boom, I'm going to match that. So it's really an invert two invert match, pattern match, zone match. I'll show you Jim Knowles real quick too, where on the next series, and it's a little bit of the zone match. It's very tricky. It's very Buffalo Bills. You know, I've studied them a lot in the last couple of years, and McDermott and Leslie Frazier are doing some amazing stuff back there. And they can pop in any defensive back. Old guys are getting hurt. They pop in new ones, and they still do well because the scheme is so good. And they do a lot of like zone match, pattern match, and it's hard to tell because there'll be one play I was studying. They were all zone matching, which means you just grab the guy in your zone, but you grab him tight man to man in your zone. Now, if he leaves your zone, you pass him off to your teammate. And there's a lot of bracketing and leveraging that goes on with that. And I'll show that in a minute what I mean. So, but then one guy in that must have had an assignment that if his guy does a shallow cross, he's going to follow him the whole way, because he followed this guy the whole way across while everybody else was doing matchup zone. So, you know, it's tricky stuff. It's all assignment oriented. Any kind of match, zone match, man match, it's all of a pattern distribution thing. And it's all assignment. Here's the pattern. Your guy you look at the two receiver, the three, the one, they do this, they do that, you do this, you do that, if then. It's like I'm back in freaking physics. You know, I was a physics major in college. Like something like that back in calc, you know, if then. It's just an if then. If this happens, then you do this. But if that happens, then you do this. I got you 2 assignments per person. Everyone do your goddamn assignment. That's what Nick Saban would say. That's it. All right. But, you know, and then that's when you can have split field coverage and all that cool stuff. Okay, anyway. So look at these guys matching up. This guy would have been open right here. I think that's Fleming. I think there's a little bit of an opening right there, right? Because that safety's sort of wailing out of there quick, bailing out. And he didn't really match that guy fast. So, but why can't Stroud get him the ball? This is why. So here's the zone blitz. He's going to drop. I love this. Again, heavy power. This is power spread. Spread out defense, powering up the gut, just like they did on the run blitz. Check it out. Zach's going to diagram a little bit here, and he's showing you right there. See that? Guys are out on the end, and everybody's screwed in the middle. This might have been what I was trying to talk about with our right guard. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. That's the one where he needed to pass off. The other one, he was pulling on the counter. I was getting all confused. Sorry, guys. I'm still rusty at all this. But this guy, yeah, the center needs to pull off here, and but then it gets all screwed up, see? But it's because it's just cool. And you may not, I don't know, again, see Zach stuff, maybe he could explain it to you better on that to make you understand better how cool this is. But first of all, you're bailing out on the two sides. Everything's powering up the middle, and you're doing a real simple little stunt. Hey, how hard is it for this linebacker to do that? Not hard. That's one assignment. That's not even 2. I mean, he might have no, he doesn't have an assignment. That's it. So very simple, you know, something that's confusing the offense, but very simple to execute. Boom. Little bit there. We got that. Totally screwed. And you look at the other side. I thought, Zach didn't say this, but I thought about the left guard here. Look. Pass him off to the left tackle. This is Jackson and Johnson, Paris Johnson. This is Ohio State's strength right there, in my opinion. Left guard, left tackle. But pass it off. No, he stayed with him. He could have nailed that. He could have slowed that guy. And, of course, you can see the attempt by the right guard. But, yep. And is that Smolden guy again? Molden, that guy I told you, the big recruit? I think it is. Number 2? Or is that 10? I can't see. Yep, 2. It's 2 again. According to Mr. Phil Still, the number 2 recruited linebacker in the country. So he does an aggregate of all the recruiting services. Hey, man, Zach will be the first to tell you. Any coach will tell you. It's not all about that. Yeah, I know it's not, but it's fun to have those numbers, you know. Anyways, it gives you an idea anyway. There's a difference between a number 2 and a number 250. There should be anyway, but there isn't always, but there should be. But anyways. But yeah, I really think, and I'm looking at CJ, I think he was going to go down to Fleming. Well, he's looking there, looking to the left. He's quick. He's a good spread passer, not like JJ. Looking to the right. Yeah, he's going to go. He's going to let it go, I think. Just to see. Is he going to let it go? I think he's about to. Another second and he would have had it. So, big stuff. They took risks. You got to take the risk. They blasted in on the middle on the risk, okay? So, and it worked. Real quick, I don't want to get into this drive on this video, but I want to see where... Oh, this is just a little... Some bad offensive line play. I don't want to... I mean, this is where... And Zach has said this repeatedly. I agree. But the only thing I'll say is, look, Georgia has a good offensive line. I mean, it's good because they score 40 points a game. They average 400 and some yards a game. I mean, they've had a great year. You can't say the offensive line stinks, in my opinion. That's my opinion. But no, is it overrated? Yeah, absolutely. There's all kinds of mistakes. Here, the left guard screws up, and that's what he's showing you right here. Look at that. I mean, that's just almost out of control. That's ridiculous. Defensive end, not even... I mean, well, as Zach said, what the hell is he looking at? I don't know. And amazing by Stinson Bennett. This is supposed to be an RPO, and he just was like, forget the whole goddamn thing. Just get that ball out of my hand, like just whipping it on. Amazing, it didn't get blocked, and he's a baller, man. Pro quarterback? I don't know. Not NFL. I'm not sure about that. Baller, good college quarterback. That absolutely. And then here's that zone match. Yep. This is what I wanted to show. So this is interesting. Jim Knowles, and I'm still have more study to go. Like I said, I'm coming in late on college now. I didn't watch all the Ohio State. The only one I analyzed with Michigan. I'm way behind on this stuff. So I am going to get into Jim Knowles' defense more. But he wasn't a guy I followed a lot, to be honest, either. So that's another thing. Though I followed Patterson, and they're from the same guy, Gary Darnell. Chuck Dreisbeck came from Gary Darnell as well, and then he was the mentor to Jim Knowles. Anyway, that's the 4-2 nickel with the split field coverages, and really what it is now is just mixing coverage and mixing blitz, and Jim Knowles is great at it. Now, you have, so he's playing, what is this right now? It's a zone matchup. That's all I remember, matchup zone. Instead of, I love it, yeah. So he's racing a safety. He plays with those three safeties. McAllister is a safety / nickel, and he pops into that whole area. And this is like a Tampa hole. I don't know what else to call it. Tampa rat in the hole. It's like a Tampa, but the real Tampa stuff that came from the day, Monty Kiffin and those guys, Tony Dungy, you had a linebacker up here and he raced. I mean, they were doing that with the Steelers way back. And Jack Lambert, that's where it started. Jack Lambert, because he was so agile, people don't know it. They think about how he ripped people's heads off. He was actually really agile too. And he could race back in the deep zone. And he literally, as a linebacker, would race back. And they'd have, so that was really a cover 2 turning into a cover 3. That was called a Tampa 2. Tampa made it famous. This is an invert Tampa, or a Tampa hole, I guess you call it, Tampa rat in the hole, because there's always a rat. And I've seen they do it in the NFL. They're doing it in a lot of places. It's pretty interesting. Oh, Mike Tomlin. You'll see it if the Steelers make the playoffs. I'll be on that. Mike Tomlin's doing some of this cool stuff. Of course, he came from Monty Kiffin and all those guys. So anyway, so yeah, that's what he's doing, but it's a zone match. So we got a kind of a cover 2, but it's really a Tampa 2 hole, if you will. Sounds kind of crude. All right, and then Tampa 2 my hole. All right, so then and then you have what I think is really a zone match. These guys are just playing the zone. I think they're going to pass it off because, and Zach points it out, like it looked like Steel Chambers, or I want to call him Marcus Freeman all the time, but Steel Chambers is eyeing up the running back, but really he has this guy. See, watch him eye the running back. Oh, got that guy coming in my zone. Match him up, man on man. The cornerbacks, it's obvious. It's a little bit press, right? It is press. So they're manning up. Boom. That's easy, right? But Eichenberg, am I saying that right? Tommy. Tommy, do you hear me? Anyway, Tommy, he's in the inside here. He needs to match up quicker. And Zach called that out too. And so if this is truly a matchup zone, which I think it is, he's playing it more like regular zone. Get on that guy. I mean, there's no one else, man. Get on that guy. The matchup zones get complicated because you can flood them just like any zone. You can flood them. And I think that's when the Bills and McDermott and Frazier and other people like Todd Bowles and brilliant guys out there have figured out ways to say your assignment. If they're flooding you, grab the man all the way. Pattern match it, man match it. So so for the most part, you're playing a zone match, unless there's a flood or something. Then you're playing a man match. But anyway, and this is no reason for Eichenberg not to be over on this guy quicker. Now, maybe he thought the guy was going to come in on him, and he's not the quickest guy in the world. Okay. Those two things are true. All right. So, maybe the guy number 2 for Georgia, Munden, whatever the hell his name is, maybe he'd be on this guy. Okay. I don't know. Tommy's had a great year. He's been a great line. He's been a great character guy for Ohio State, so I'm not going to say anything bad about him. Anyways, but, yeah, on this play, guy's wide open. And Stetson Bennett, almost did that like not a pro read. It was a pro read because he looked this way, then he come over here, but almost looking for space like the air raid. That was like a space read. You can see all the space. You can look over here. Space is closed. Space is open. Remember, defenses are trying to constrict space, and offenses are trying to expand space. No one was better at expanding space than Art Briles. But anyway, I thought I was going to see more leverage here, but I don't know where that was that I saw that. Maybe that was at Georgia and I missed it. But a lot of times you'll have these guys bracketing, and it's all about leverage. And Nick Saban was big on that, like leverage, leverage, leverage. We always talked about leverage up front throughout history, but then now you're talking about leverage in the defensive backfield. I don't know when I don't know if it started with Nick Saban, it was before that, I don't know how long, whatever. But at one point, yeah, the leverage, and that's a lot of the zone match will do that, and pattern match too. But you in a weird way, you can tell by the positions of their bodies, the technique. The shoulder, the shoulder they're playing on, the cornerbacks, the way they're matching up. Even these guys, look, this isn't like regular man-to-man. Look at these guys, they're lined up, the way they're lined up. It's more of a match, like a zone match, because they still have eyes in the backfield. Oops. Watch. Well, he's lining up. Well, no, he's back. See, he's still looking in the backfield a bit. That's why he's able, I forget who this is, Brown, Corn Brown. He's coming off this, see? If he was totally man-on-man, he wouldn't have come off that. I don't think. I think maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Zach, tell me I'm wrong. I don't know. But then, so I think that's a match. It's a zone match. Once that ball was released, get over and help. And that's what he did. So that's one of the things. Knowles will run he'll run some zone, but it's mainly either a man match, pattern matching, or it's all pattern matching, but man match or zone match. And he'll do either one. Don't know if he mixes them that much. I have to study it more. And he definitely does that Tampa stuff a lot. That rat in the hole stuff. It's pretty cool. And he'll start with 3 safeties and mix it all up. Go into a 2 high, go into a 1 high, quarters, just mix it all up. It's really cool. And it looks pretty simple. I think his stuff's pretty good. I mean, you come down on him. Let's see. He needs to get the talent right, okay? Let's see what happens when he's got let's match the personnel to his schemes and see how that works first. If it still doesn't work, then we're going to start questioning it. That's my opinion. But anyways, all right, so that's a long video there. I'd love to be doing these whole games. This is a lot of fun for me, but I really want to get these out in a post, do a little podcast. Maybe I'll get some more videos on these college. I'll definitely be doing the NFL. But again, thanks to Zach. Check out his stuff, definitely. You'll get more high-tech coach speak on that side. And then for me, hope you enjoyed this.